What's it take to wage a battle of the bluegrass? Start with 300 feet of Kentucky soil specially prepped for competition. Hook a modified truck or tractor to a sled and put the hammer down.
What is pulling? It's the only motorsport measured in inches. Pulling involves tractors and trucks hitched to a special sled with a moving weight box. The goal is to haul the sled as far as possible before the shifting weight pulls it to a stop. The longest pull wins.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Bullitt County Fairgrounds in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, to the Jeffrey Machine Summer Nationals, presented by Hatfields and McCoy's Beef Jerky. I'm Ted Jones, and along with Tom McConnell, this Battle of the Bluegrass is going to be featuring two different classes of trucks this evening. Right now you see the pullers checking the track out because how the dirt is made up is very important. Now a class we'll see later on in the show today is going to be street diesel. Here's a typical example of one of those. And then the other class is this, Pro Street two-wheel drive. It's a new class for the Battle of the Bluegrass. It features rear-wheel drive vintage trucks limited to 470 cubic inches, one 4-barrel carburetor, no more than 850 cubic feet per minute limit, must be stock wheelbase with weights inside the vehicle, not outside like traditionally, and they must maintain a stock appearance. Sheet metal must be steel, and they can't be any newer than 1984. Let's catch up right now with Will Kimmel to find out a little bit more about this class.
All right, thanks guys. I'm standing here with Michael McIntosh. New class for Battle of the Bluegrass, Pro Street two-wheel drive. Michael, tell us a little bit about this class.
Well, Will, the class, it's basically the old stock trucks, use a stock frame. You do some strut work. You can run like a 1-ton rear end or a 2-ton rear end. It's 470 cubic inch, big block Chevy. We run a small carburetor, like a 650 Holly is kind of your basic line on the carburetor. You run a 4-speed transmission, 5-speed transmission. It's 5,200 pounds. We run like a 28-inch hitch with 33-inch tires, and it really works really well, you know, with the way it's all set up. And we've got it cut back to kind of make it an economical class for everybody, and maybe some new beginners get into it and stuff like that. So it's really working out great.
Look forward to seeing this class on the track. Looks like a lot of fun. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Will. They're putting weight in the sled right now. About how much weight, Tom?
It'll probably take 45,000 pounds to stop a truck that weighs 5,200 pounds. These guys make a lot of power for what they are, Ted. Brandon Hahn, our first puller up. This guy has been second all year long. A second in Bardstown, a second in Danville, a second in VV, Indiana. Let's see what he does in Shepherdsville tonight, Ted.
Pulling out of Mount Eden, Kentucky. He calls his 68 Chevrolet the Old Iron, and old is indeed. I love those headers sticking up through the hood right there. He pulls to 240.13 feet. That probably won't hold.
Well, we talked to the tech officials, Ted. He's the first puller. He is going to take his option of turning that pull down. We'll see him at the end of the class. James Harden driving a GMC out of Cox's Creek, Kentucky. He has won a bunch this year, Ted.
Look at the rear tires spinning right there, trying to dig in.
Well, this is an historic truck. He started pulling this back in 1984, brought it out of the weeds 2 years ago for this new class, and it is working so well. The weight stops him. He takes over the lead to 70.68.
By 30 feet, that's a pretty good amount to take it over. Next up will be Ronnie Smith, a Daddy Spare Parts Chevy. We talked to Ronnie earlier about how he got into pulling and why.
I got into truck pulling because, you know, my grandpa's been doing it for years. I've grown up around it. It's just all I've ever known. I've worked on them ever since I was young, and I love it, and finally got an opportunity to build me one. I don't think being the youngest puller is either disadvantage or advantage because, you know, we're all buddies. We all know each other. It's just out here having fun.
So, he's ready to pull right now. Ronnie calls it conveniently Daddy's Spare Parts. Well, I bet that's true, Tom.
Ted, I'll tell you what, it's like going to a NASCAR race about 1968. It's so nostalgic. Grassroots pulling at its best. Daddy's Spare Parts is working. He is laying down a heck of a run, making about 800 horsepower. The Chevy goes way out into the lead, Ted, too. 92.50.
Wow, let's take another look at him right now as he comes out of the hole, drifts over a little bit. You see the front tires turn as he corrects it. Still going, does not lift, keeps it going, and finally has to stop.
292, you think that's enough to win?
I hope it is. It's first place so far, but you never know. There's 2 more good trucks left. You just got to hope for the best.
As we take a look at the Moon Pie Moonshine leaderboard right there, that young man has shown the old guys how it's done. Ronnie Smith with a comfortable lead.
This Battle of the Bluegrass Pulling Series is being brought to you by Jeffrey Machine, driven by precision, and by Hatfield and McCoy Jerky, premium jerky, legendary American brand, and by River City Truck Parts, heavy-duty parts you need when you need them, and by Dustless Blasting. It's the future of surface preparation.
You're watching Battle of the Bluegrass coming to you from the Bullitt County Fairgrounds in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. A capacity crowd on hand. We're in the middle of the Pro Street two-wheel drive class. I'm Ted Jones, and along with Tom McConnell, the next truck up will be Who's Cheating Who. Now, you'll see him hook up. They call it hooking. He put a giant hook back there in that hitch. The height of that hitch is so important in pulling. Kathy Fisher has more on that.
A little pulling 101. Something to think about. Hitch height. The rule is 20 inches, no more than that. Everybody has to follow that, and they measure them when they go over the scales before they go out and make a pull. But you see, there are adjustments here. There would be times that they might want to go lower than 20 inches. That would be a really good track, and they don't have quite enough weight on the front, so they'll make some adjustments in the back, try to teeter it out, and pull it on down.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Timmy Burkhead, our next puller, the Who's Cheating Who Chevy.
This truck has been around a long, long time. He brought it back out with the advent of this new class, took a couple of third-place finishes. He's on his way to an excellent run, though, Ted. Gonna come up just a little short, 291.31. Just a foot short, but he broke some stuff here, Ted. Wow.
They call it the sport of inches. The leader is 292.50, 291.31. Well, that's good for second place. Let's take another look as we go on board with Timmy Burkhead.
He puts the hammer down, the front end's coming up. Listen and feel the power. Rolling down, you think he's got it, then watch it right here. The sled says, stop, young man. It stops, and we got problems.
Looked like the truck broke. What happened there?
Just a little firing issue. We'll get it fixed.
Next up will be Brandon Hahn. Remember this guy, he turned the first pull down, Tom.
Well, I'll tell you what, he only went 240 foot, so he really had to. Let's see if he can get the job done. He's had a real good year. Beautiful vintage truck. Look at the rear end taking the abuse. Ted, he's got a lot of ground speed. Can he beat Ronnie Smitha, who's going for his first win?
We see Ronnie right there watching 292.50 Ronnie, and no! He comes up just a little short, 291.62. Let's take one more look at it. You can see as he begins to leave. Look at the front end jumping up and down.
Look at how violent the rear end shakes. You can really see it here on this Jeffrey Machine replay. Let's go to Will.
Come up short by a foot. Tell me a little bit about your pull.
Well, I come off the line a little harder than I wanted to, and just lost it there in the first 50 foot, I believe.
He did indeed. You saw that on the replay. The front end coming up and down, then the back end shaking like that. Will is down there with the young gun, Ronnie Smith.
Congratulations. It held up for you. Tell me a little bit about your pull.
I just waited till it hooked up, and once it got hooked up, I laid into it, and it took me through the win. It's always a fun ride.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They do the measuring here with a laser. You see the guy there? Kathy Fisher has more.
Pulling 101. You ever wonder how they get such an accurate measurement and get it so quickly? Well, they use a laser system. And what they do is they've zeroed it out here, bouncing it off the back of the sled. So when the pull is over, they can hurry up, punch it in, bounce it off the back, and be accurate down to 1/10 of an inch. Hey, that's a lot better than going out and rolling the tape.
You're watching Battle of the Bluegrass, the Jeffrey Machine Summer Nationals presented by Hatfield McCoy Beef Jerky. We're at the Bullitt County Fairgrounds, Shepherdsville, Kentucky. And our next class will be the Street Diesel, a very interesting class. All three brands are involved in this: Chevrolet, Ford, and the one brand that seems to dominate is Ram. Tom McConnell, what are some of the rules for Street Diesel?
Oh my gosh, thank you for throwing me that question, Ted. Well, here's the main rules about Street Diesel. They've got to be street legal. Now, what that means, well, some of the guys drive these trucks in. It also means some of them truck them in, but they have to be legal to drive on the highway, which can sometimes leave for some wide open interpretation of rules. With more on this class, let's go to Will.
I'm here with Drew Slayback. He's going to tell us a little bit about his truck.
05 Dodge Ram, Slayback's diesel.
Here recently, he's got disqualified for having a turbo infraction. We're going to talk to him about what he thinks is going to happen tonight and how he sits for tonight's race.
I feel pretty good about tonight's race. It was pretty disappointing and set us back about 30 or 40 points, but we've had a pretty good few runs the last few, and we're going to give them all we got tonight.
And our first bowler will be Tristan Ellington from Cynthiana, Kentucky. He's got a Ford with a Power Stroke diesel.
Oh yeah, got a unique sound in that Power Stroke. The Power Stroke's known for being a little bit more on the torquey side. This is truly a manufacturer's paradise, Ted, as you've got Chevy, Ford, and Ram all battling it up, and the big Ford lays down a great run, 293.96, as we check it out with the Jeffrey Machine Instant Replay digging into the ground, about 900 horsepower on that truck. Awesome run. Let's go to Will.
293, you going to keep it or take another?
We're going to turn it down today. Wasn't quite enough.
Ted, 293 turns it down. You know why? He's a diesel truck puller. They always turn down the first run. Why? They get to pull again. Bryce Ratliff, Mount Sterling, Kentucky. I've watched this guy pull for years. Started with a flatbed Ram truck that he used to haul hay on. Come to the Bulls, but now he has got one of the serious contenders in this class. But the guesswork going to come up short at 274.
You can hear that big Cummins diesel under the hood of that Ram truck growling away right there. All the Rams run Cummins diesels.
Seemed like the truck bogged down a little bit at the end. If it wouldn't have happened, how much further would it have went?
Probably another 15 foot or so, hopefully. We just don't have much of a road out here tonight. You know, not being the first one's hook, it's pretty loose, but it's a pretty good hook. Good smooth track.
Here's our next puller. This is Jared Jenkins from Piner, Kentucky. He's got a Chevrolet. They have a Duramax diesel in them.
This is a strong running truck, Ted, one of the top Chevrolets in the class. But this is the first time Jared Jenkins has ever driven for the team, and he takes over the lead. Well, let's check it out with the Jeffrey's Machine Instant Replay, Ted. That is about a perfect pull, especially for a rookie.
297.83 feet, to be exact.
Well, you know, guys, that was my first time ever hooking a truck all together. It felt pretty good. I was pretty excited, but also nervous. I want to thank my buddy Brandon Ross for letting me pull it, and the guys that come help me, and hopefully it holds up. But they got a lot of tough trucks in this class, so it's going to be a tough one.
Well, that's the thing about pulling, Ted. It's a very grassroots sport. Their buddies pass the trucks along even though they've got a lot of money in them. Here's a former work stock champion. He's got Duramax and Chevy tattooed on his arm. Kevin Perkins, the pretty and pink Chevy. Can he take over the lead? No shock there. That bad boy's out 310.16. Let's check it out with the Jeffrey's Machine Instant Replay. Pat Dooley was awesome, Ted.
Just very little tire spin. Traction is what you need.
You think it's going to hold up?
I really don't think it will. Track's getting better. Well, we got some good running trucks still behind us.
310 feet, and he's worried that won't hold up.
Oh, Ted, I love the looks of this Ram truck here. He was hauling hay and feed earlier today. Now he's hooking to the sled. Ryan Perkins It has been a Chevrolet-dominated field so far, but it looks like the big Ram is gonna take over the lead.
You got that right, Tom. 320.16 feet. He beat out Kevin Perkins by 10 feet with that big Cummins-powered Ram.
Pretty good pull there. Tell me how you felt about it.
I think it'll hold pretty good, but there's a lot of tough competition coming up.
So as we go to break and the sun begins to set, the Moon Pine Moonshine leaderboard shows us Ryan Perkins strong in the lead. We have 2 runs over 300 feet. We'll be back with more after
This Battle of the Bluegrass Pulling Series has been brought to you by Moon Pie Moonshine, the working man's reward. Visit moonpiemoonshine.com. And by Jeffrey Machine, driven by precision. And by Commonwealth Dodge, your best source for Ram trucks. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
You're tuned in to the Battle of the Bluegrass of the Jeffrey Machine Summer Nationals from Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Ted Jones, Tom McConnell here. We're right in the middle of the street diesel category. Our next puller coming up will be Mike Cornett out of Owenton, Kentucky. He calls this the Mistress Dodge Ram.
He has got his work cut out for him. 320 feet. That 3/4 ton Ram is hammering down. And it's going to shut him up short, 293.43. A good run, but not good enough today, Ted.
Let's take another look at it right now with our Jeffrey Machine instant replay. You see the front tires spinning, the back tires spinning. That's part of the problem. You're not going down the track when you're spinning tires like that.
Well, something you don't see very often is a truck like what we've got here. This is Andrew Currens. He comes to us out of Cynthiana, Kentucky. It is actually a 2-wheel drive. Look at the front wheels just bobbing. They're not throwing dirt.
You gotta be kidding me. The guy drove a 2-wheel drive truck to a 4-wheel drive truck pull.
He's not doing bad with it, Ted, considering what he does. 222.05. Doesn't even have the front wheels in. Still a respectable run.
This is Dustin Sellers from Cynthiana, Kentucky. Well, we like Cynthiana. They sent us a lot of pullers
I'll
here.
tell you what, it sure does. A lot of pulling in the Bluegrass State, and Dustin really laying down the run. He has been really tough in competition this year, finishing as high as 2nd place in Owensboro, Kentucky. Not going to pick up a win here tonight, though. Still looking for that first win of the year. Justin Henderson coming up next. Something for the Chevrolet fans. This is like the old days of Pro Stock and Super Stock drag racing. They had muscle cars. We got muscle trucks. The Rams with the Cummins in the lead. Can the Chevrolet, the #1 truck in points, take the lead? No. Chevy does not get it done. At this point, it stays with the Ram truck as Trevor Hall comes up. The Quality Diesel Performance Ram. Oh yeah, sounding good. He's got a radical paint scheme. Paint schemes don't win truck pulls, Ted. Horsepower does, but he seems to have plenty of it. Shifts it into low. Wow, 307.14. Let's check that out with the Jeffrey's Machine instant replay.
Take a look as the front tire is spinning a little bit. He corrects, trying to keep it right down the center of the course right here. You can see him steering back and forth. The last 2 pullers have gone over 300 feet, but not enough.
Well, Drew Slayback backing up to the sled now. Will interviewed him earlier. He has had more wins this year than anybody else. Can he win out here tonight? Trying to beat 320. Will his winning spree continue? Not gonna happen tonight. 312.01. Let's check that out on the Jeffrey Machine instant replay. That Ram, Ted, it is a beautiful truck and it runs as good as it looks.
I love that big plume of black diesel smoke these guys have as they route the exhaust up through the bed. There's the big hook, folks, hooking up right now to Tristan Ellington for his rerun. Remember, he turned down the first pull.
Well, Ted, we're in a Ford area. I mean, there's 2 Ford plants within 30 miles from here. Ford fans everywhere. The last truck is a Ford. A big Ram in the lead. Can the Ford overtake the Ram? Not gonna happen. The money is gonna go to Ryan Perkins and his big Ram flatbed.
Take another look at this Power Stroke diesel coming down through here. Very little tire spin. I think he just didn't have enough power.
320 handled the field pretty good. You gonna drive this thing home?
No, we're gonna haul her home.
Congratulations, nice job tonight.
I appreciate it, thank you.
They modify these engines a lot, and therefore he's gonna tow it home.
It's street legal, Ted. Remember the rules. Street legal doesn't mean you necessarily have to drive it on the street. You know, outlaw drag racing type things.
Time for some special awards. The Moon Pie Moonshine Best Appearing went to Trevor Hall's beautiful Ram truck. And the Hatfield McCoy Best Engineered was won by Drew Slayback's Dodge Ram. And our final award, the River City Truck Parts Hot Run of the Day, went to Ryan Perkins with that unusual flatbed Ram. For Tom McConnell, Will Kimmel, Kathy Fisher, and our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Ted Jones. Thanks for joining us. In association with Masters Entertainment Group, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.